John Gill joins us, of course, the man that's really in the middle of this storm over the Isle of Man Rally Isle of Man. You did an interview on Monday on the radio, you've done some more today. We've finally got hold of you, you've been a busy man, but obviously I was going to refer you to what the DOI have said, but you haven't seen my interview with them. But let me just, basically there was words like incompetence put around in there. I'm not saying it you, it was just the general overview that they were giving us back, that there was a lack of things going on basically that made them have to pull the plug. It was quite harsh to some people, but how do you react to that sort of?
Well, first of all, it was the decision of the directors to cancel rally, and it was made mainly from the point of view that the rally was due to start within 10 days. We still had an uncertainty over the granting of the road closure order. We were constantly putting in revisions to our safety plan, and we were getting more and more requests to make different changes. At one point, I think it was Thursday, we were sent what they considered to be how they wanted us to set things out. And then one has to question the role of the DOI. Yes, they're there and they have to ensure that road closures are granted to organisations that run safe events. They've held up that the Isle of Man, Rally Isle of Man is unsafe. They've produced some evidence which is actually not, it doesn't truly indicate that the event is unsafe. If you look at the safety record of the event, and you look at the number of times people have lost their lives, had life-changing injuries, there is no indication that the event is unsafe. The other thing is, Paul, that Rally Isle of Man is permitted by the MSA, the governing body of motorsport in the UK. They have two representatives at each motorsport event. One is a safety delegate and one is an MSA steward, both of whom are experienced in motorsport. They're a long experience in motorsport, and they have as their primary concern the safe running of an event. Now, if the event was deemed to be unsafe, as the DOI have tried to imply, we wouldn't have been granted permits for the last 4 years. And we have been granted permits. And for our event this year, we were granted a permit by the MSA together with the FIA, which, as you know, is the world governing body of motorsport.
Okay. I never really got into the safety side of things. The interview was really focused on the inability for your people to get things in on time, to get the paperwork done. You promised them that you'd have it by certain days. Things are getting closer and closer, and you hadn't delivered. Your reaction to that?
There was, in the early days, a delay in submitting documentation. We submitted our route in January. It was April before we got a response to the route. There were lots of changes we were asked to make, so the changes were made. And as we were getting closer to what they considered to be their deadline, because we work to two deadlines, the ones that the DOI say we should make and the ones that the governing body make, and there's quite a big difference between it. And yes, we put in, after the meeting in July, we did meet the deadlines. On one occasion, it was the following day.
Are you saying there's no failings on your part whatsoever?
No, I'm not saying that. No,
right, because I think that's what we got down to, because they were putting the blame on you, you're putting the blame on them.
No,
somewhere in the middle here.
You know me, I'm not into this blame culture. What I would much rather have done with government is to sit down, and we did ask to meet both chief executives of DOI and DED yesterday morning to explain the reason why we pulled the event.
But why put it on Sunday night? Why not have the meeting on Monday for that? Things can still go on. I mean, they were caught on the back foot from all accounts, pulling it on a Sunday night.
Sunday night. The reason why, last Friday, we had a deadline, not with government, not with anybody, but with the suppliers of items that we had to have ready for the rally, such as the road book that had to be printed. They had a deadline, and they told us for the road books to be ready to be distributed this week. They would need them by Friday lunchtime. The awards that we give out needed to be ordered to be able to deliver.
Could you not have indicate that then to maybe the DOI that Sunday was an absolute cut-off? I mean, from what I'm just in the middle of this whole thing as well.
Yeah.
But it seems that they were taken on the back foot that you
No,
pulled it.
and we talked with them. We told them on Thursday that we were going to have to cancel the event. All right.
You actually told them
we
on
did
Thursday.
Yes, we
no ifs and buts.
No,
we
we said that we were left with no alternative but to cancel the event, and we would do it. And I said 12 o'clock. Some people have interpreted that as a threat. No, it wasn't a threat, but that was the deadline I had for the printers, the manufacturers, the suppliers.
Thursday. But you put the
Sorry, I said we would do it on Friday. No, on Friday.
Right.
We received an email back from one of the chief executives, and that's fine. That was Mark Lewin, and we thanked him for, I thanked him for his prompt reply. He then asked me what the financial problem was, and the problem was if we ordered all the things we had to do, and the event didn't go ahead, we have to refund the entries in full.
Which you're now doing, are you?
We're in the process of doing, yeah. But if we'd have ordered goods up to £30,000, those goods need to be paid.
Right. This is clearly no one's going to agree to terms. But you are saying, though, that there is some blame. I mean, you don't use blame, but at the end of the day, people are asking who's to blame. Are you accepting that you are partly to blame as an organisation because you didn't deliver things to them on time, and maybe they should also say they're partly to blame? I mean, leave like that or not? No?
Yeah, you put me in a corner, and I will answer that. Yes, there's blame on both sides. But to be quite honest, I don't want to apportion blame. What I want to do is to work with people, and I just find now that the attitude of government, for instance, the Minister for the Department of Infrastructure, in an interview, referred to us going past a school. What is the relevance of that? We don't go past a school on the route. We do go past Castle Rushen, but that would have been shut 3 hours before the rally started. This is terrible that he doesn't really understand the route himself.
It clearly got into social media, and people were being hauled out from DOI and sort of put to the public for flogging almost. You accept, or do you not accept that should happen? And is that the right way as adults to handle this?
I think the way we had planned to handle this was the way it should have been done, which is not going on media. It's not going on Facebook.
But it ended up there.
But we didn't go that way.
That's right.
Yeah, we didn't go that way. My interview on Manx Radio was about the fact that the rally had been cancelled and the effect and what we were going to do about it. At no time did I apportion blame, and no time did I point fingers. But for a government to make the accusations publicly and to issue the media release yesterday afternoon, I'm staggered.
But they use this incompetency word. You had a change of leadership, did you, a few months ago?
I've no idea.
Did you not? Or did you? I mean,
no, we didn't.
Is it the same people that have been running this all the way through? You didn't have to bring in and change things.
No.
Any shape? Okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, again, I'm just trying to remember all the pieces.
I mean, there was a meeting in July of this year that was attended by Robert Graham, who's an international clerk of the course, and you don't become an international clerk of the course if you're incompetent. And we felt it appropriate to bring with us, and the MSA offered to send one of their senior directors, which is a chap called Nicky Moffat from Northern Ireland. And they came over and met with a lot of people.
Okay.
But there was no change of leadership.
Fine. You didn't have it sold out. It wasn't going that well. This is just a way out for you.
In our regulations, we state that we must have 110 paid entries to make the event viable. We get we've not got a huge amount of money. If I go back to 2010, Rally Isle of Man used to receive £120,000 a year, not a guarantee against loss, but £120,000 a year paid in 2 instalments to run the rally. In 2010, it stopped. And since then, we have been offered a guarantee against loss 1 year. We didn't call on it because we made a profit. You don't put on an event to lose money.
So if the government had backed all this stuff you had to go and buy, which they may or may not have done, I don't know if you got that offer or not, then it could have carried on. You wouldn't have had to cancel it on that Friday.
Basically.
But they wouldn't give you that, is what you're saying?
The offer was conditional upon meeting the requirements of the DOI. In other words, the DOI had to issue the road closure order.
So if everything had been in place, this rally would have taken place. You wouldn't have cancelled it through lack of entries or people not knowing if it's on. I mean, that must have had some effect, obviously, not knowing where you were going. People weren't booking. But
quite right. I mean, the entries, if we take last year's event, we had 170 entries. And 160, I think it was 160 started. This year, at the close of entries, on the unseeded entry list, there were 114 competitors, which on the face of it is 4 more than we needed to break even. However, what is important is those people pay. And what you find in rallying, people will enter, they'll pre-register, but when it comes to it, and the moment they have to hand over the money, they go, well, do you know what, I'm not going to do it. So we were down well below the number of entries financially we needed. Government then did offer to make it up, but the condition was meeting the Department of Infrastructure's requirements. And in all honesty, they did change from day to day.
Remind me, it has been cancelled in the past through lack of something?
Yeah, I mean,
it's not the first time.
No, it's been cancelled 3 times, twice because of foot and mouth.
Oh, right.
Yeah, in the 60s. You're not old enough to remember.
But not lack of nothing.
And
like
in
this.
2011, it was cancelled by the previous directors of Rally Isle of Man.
Right.
Because the Department of whatever it was then, DTI, who were providing the funding, said they didn't want the rally run in July because there was too much going on in July. They wanted us to move.
Okay.
And the only date we could move to was October, the last weekend of October. We then had an issue that we weren't allowed to run Castletown because there was going to be a ghost train from Douglas to Castletown, and then the walk to Castle Rushen, and they didn't. Yeah.
Okay.
So it has been cancelled once before.
Will it be back? Can you get round that table with those gentlemen that I interviewed and others, no doubt, which you have been dealing with? Is this salvageable as this group of people, or have you all got to walk away and bring in new people?
Well,
what do you think?
To be quite honest, the approach that we took about not trying to get into this blame culture and to...
we may not want to, but you're in it.
No,
truly in it.
But the only way to move forward is to have a full and honest exchange of
And my
views.
point is, do you think you can do it?
And I think we can do it.
Can
and
it be
we
back
have
next
to
year?
do it.
It will be back next year?
As far as we're concerned, I'm laughing now, it's not funny, but we actually have an event. We have a route. We have most of the documentation now. And with time and the lack of pressure, that can be produced and it can be into the DOI way before the end of the year.
You're not saying by any chance you can still run it this year if everyone... It's definitely off.
We can't run it.
That's gone, right?
I mean, we were asked, could we put something on at the weekend? Sorry.
Okay.
We were asked by a politician.
Okay. So
in fairness...
Here's the 2019, hopefully, yeah.
The dates are there. We've had a positive response from the FIA. They want to be here.
Because it doesn't play well, this is it. The whole thing looks quite shambolic.
But in many ways, other events have been cancelled. You know, you go around the country and anywhere within the world, events are cancelled for various reasons.